Okay, people of YouTube, I know you get tired of me. I get tired of me. It's 7:16 p.m., 5/24/2018. Well, guess what I went and did? I went and wrote to the Department of Human Services in Iowa. Do you want to know? Because my son's ex-wife, the mother of his daughter, that lied about him, lied about me. You know, I've gone on and on in the videos about it. Or screencast. Sheesh, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to say screencast. I know that's a screencast. Okay. So, it dawned on me like last week, and I've been stewing on this since then. And I knew it was just one of these little things I tucked away. Okay, forgot about it. You've maybe done the same thing, right? Well, during the divorce decree modification back in 93, all right, I went with John. The thing was, the daughter was to visit 6 weeks to see if she liked it when we first got them, and then be returned to the commune so that they could discuss it. And if you ask me, that would have been a prime time, since she later said that the rapes began the first day she was with us. To say, Mother, I tried it, I didn't like it, I'm not going back. The divorce decree modification would have stopped. Because that was the main thing for the modification, was for her dad to become the primary caregiver. After her telling the kid that he was dead for 13 years. Alright, imagine the shock, right? Oh, by the way, you really got a dad, I was lying to you. Okay, because I didn't want to talk about it. Man. So that should have been called fraud too, but it wasn't. And there's probably a good reason. I can't think of it right now, okay? What you tell your kids, I guess, is your business. Maybe that'll work. Okay, so while she's up there, and I wrote of this in this letter, sitting beside the judge, facing the courtroom, answering questions, she said that she couldn't work because it was against her religion. Okay, so she didn't say I couldn't work because. She did answer it's against my religion if she was asked by the lawyer. Bolton was his last name. Okay. Just to clear that up, she might not have said the whole sentence, I can't work, it's against my religion. She may have answered, can you work or not? Why don't you work? Right? Alright. Okay, so then I bring you over here to their group website. Hope it'll load quickly. Because this really bothered me. It's nothing but fraud. If you tell the court that you can't work because it's against your religion, and then to read on this website, which I understand she had at least a small part in creating or building, whichever, and see that work is expected of people who live there. I'm trying to get it to scroll, but having a little bit of problem with it. And I'll try to hustle through that, okay? Here it is. Required labor contribution per week, 40 hours. Okay? right here. So they want all or close to all of your income. All right? They require labor of you. All right? And then down here it explains that under their economics tab, okay? Daily work crews are mandatory. However, we keep the Sabbath and do not work then. Work ranges from around 30 hours a week in midwinter to 60 plus hours per week in midsummer. We work a lot, so please don't be afraid of work. Okay? You see that with your own eyes. Here is their website up here, or at least one of them. Okay? Come on, highlight, darn ya. This really makes me mad when it does this. There you go. Okay, now picture her sitting up there in front of a courtroom. It wasn't full. There were a lot of empty seats there. Looking right at everybody. Oh, work? I can't work. It's against my religion. Required labor contribution per week, 40 hours. Daily work crews, 30 hours a week midwinter, 60 hours per week midsummer. Don't be afraid of it. Do you get it? Is that not fraud? Is that fraud upon the court? Because I wrote it right to these people 10 days ago. DHS Iowa. Right, and their crap had been well known up there for quite some time, even before the kids even came to our house. Okay? Her mother worked. Her mother was a preacher's wife. That's not very hard work, I don't guess, a lot of times, but, you know, especially when it comes to big Sunday dinners, maybe she'd just pick a congregation member and say, we'll be there. Thanks for loving us, right? That just really burns me. That's like something I saw on Facebook, and I know you're going to take that with a grain of salt, right? It was the Syrians all on these cot things. And the caption was something like, can't work against our religion. She's not a Syrian. But the court accepted that as truth. So I guess maybe then she goes back home, wipes her hands of it, you know. Well, there's another check mark. We're done, you know. And goes to work, because one thing I do know that she did do was teach. Now, some people would say teaching's my pleasure. It's a hobby. I like to do it. You can't call it work. But it was a job. She went, you know, to her position as a homeschool teacher. She might have even helped can, you know, put the stuff in the jars. It just burns me up. That's fraud, people. Whether you're in Iowa or not. There's people that get by with this crap all the time. So she'd fraud that. I wonder what else she'd fraud. Now the deposition that John Stoddard did, I believe the date was October 4th. of 95. No, it wasn't the deposition, I'm sorry. It was some other thing that made a notation that she had taken an independent, on her own, took an independent lie detector test and was found to be truthful. Okay? So she sits up there. Well, the thing about that is maybe she cheated it, or because they're buddy-buddy with the prosecutor up there, because the prosecutor's brother is their main guy out there at the commune. Brother and sister. So maybe that's part of why this stuff just kept getting to go and go and go. Looks like we're getting weather. So, anyway, I wanted to let you know I had found that out, or it was knowledge, like I said, tucked away. It came back to me. I remembered it. I don't like it. So, because they haven't answered this letter, I'll probably look up some more email addresses in Iowa to give it to. Because I don't like that. I don't like ripped off like that. I don't like ripped off at all. This ripped off my whole life. Because certain people wouldn't stand up to these people. Wouldn't stand up to them. And there's probably something else I was going to mention too. I do remember that during one of our little talks about it, we were told that they had been taught to lie. So maybe that's part of it. I just wish this nightmare was over, people. I wish this nightmare had never begun. I wish it was over with. You know, she doesn't have to keep revisiting. It's not a physical visitation. It's metaphysical. It's, I guess you could say, mental. And part of it's because all those times we were face to face, eye to eye, that part lives on. Whether anybody can see it or not, or whether anybody but anyone in our home saw those occurrences, I think sometimes she turns against herself and she can see me. Because I am right there where she said I was gone. You know what I'm saying? The mind can be tricky. It can play tricks. So, anyway, thanks for listening.